All right, 2.3, we were supposed to use the limit laws to find the limit of this as t approaches 25. Well, first of all, we have two quantities divided, and as long as we can, doesn't create any undefined situations, we can go ahead and split this up into the limit of a quotient to the quotient of a limits. Limit as t approaches 25 of 3 square root of t minus 1/5 t over the limit as t approaches 25 of t minus 20 squared. If we continue using our limit rules, we can take the difference and split that up into the difference of limits. So this would be the limit as t approaches 25 of 3 square root of t minus the limit of 1/5 t as t approaches 25 over, and we can, this is a square, so we can, that's a product, so we can call this the limit as t approaches 25 of t minus 20 times, so the limit of a product is the product, so we're going to multiply the limits, the limit as t approaches 25 of t minus 20. And even going further, just practicing using our limit rules, a constant can come out, so this becomes the 3 times the limit as t approaches 25 of the square root of t minus the limit, and actually the half power could come out, and I can take the square root of my of this part afterwards, but I'm not going to do that much here. And I can take the 1/5 out, 1/5 the limit of t as t approaches 25 over, and this is a difference, so I could do the limit of as t approaches 25 minus the limit of 20 as t approaches 25. That answer times that answer again, which would be the limit as t approaches 25 minus the limit as t approaches 25 of 20. So, and like I said, I could take that square root, make it a half, take the square root of the whole thing of this part later, but I'm just going to do this now. So what does the square root of t approach as t goes to 25? Well, this is 5, so we get 3 times 5 minus 1/5. What's the limit of t as t goes to 25? That's going to be 25 over, and this becomes the limit of t as t goes to 25 is 25 minus 20 stays 20, so that minus 20 times 25 minus 20, and so we get 15 minus 5 over 5 times 5, so that's 10 divided by 25, or 2 divided by 5. They just wanted you to practice your limit rules on that one. Now this one, this is a product, and you think, oh, I can use the product rule. But you can only do the product rule and the difference rules if the pieces do have limits. And each one of these had a limit, so we were fine with that. But this one, if I put it in pi over 2, if I broke this up into the limit as x approaches pi over 2 of this part, x minus pi over 2, well, that part is 0 as we put pi over 2 in there. So we think, okay, this is going to be 0. But this other part, the limit as x approaches pi over 2 of the tangent of x, well, this goes to infinity. Infinity if you come in from one side of pi over 2, and it goes to negative infinity to the other side, and 0 times infinities would be in one of those ones that we are now finding out are indeterminate. You have to do something different to find this limit than just using the product rule. So when you got this kind of thing happening where this doesn't have a limit, this does, but this doesn't, you cannot use the product rule on this. And that's the questions on 2-4.